Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are new to my page, as I've gone viral in a couple of different platforms, so you might absolutely be new to my page. My name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to attract and keep the husbands that they deserve. I've been doing this work for almost 6 years. I've helped hundreds of women get into the best relationships of their lives in 12 months or less. And that started with me, I would say 10 years ago. I was in a relationship with a gentleman for 4 years that had no growth, had no next steps. I was his girlfriend like we were in high school. Where's the baby? Where's the marriage? Where's the house? Where's the savings account? Where are the things that adults, in my mind and in my belief, should be doing so that they are growing together and building a life together? And he was either unwilling or unable to deliver. I don't know which one. And honestly, it doesn't matter. And so at the end of the 4 years, or I ended it at 4 years, I should say, because I recognized that time was of the essence and I was not going to be anyone's victim. I'm not going to allow anyone to waste any of my time and then have the audacity to blame them. I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to take accountability and I'm going to end this thing and I'm going to move on and I'm going to move on swiftly. And so that's one of the most important elements of what I teach my clients is how to vet, build discernment so that you can assess whether or not the person in front of you is an appropriate match. If they are not an appropriate match, you exit stage left. Now, I mentioned earlier when I started this live stream that I'm going viral right now, especially on Instagram. And the comments have been around me encouraging people, encouraging women specifically, but it really works. It doesn't matter. Once you know what you want and you recognize your partner doesn't want it, encouraging them to move on too quickly. The conversation is around this bus. And me being a New Yorker, emphasis on New Yorker. So only a New Yorker would understand, I think, right? Even though I'd like to think logic and reason can get implemented here. But as a New Yorker, our bus stops are not too far apart, right? You can literally look down the way and see a mile off if you're taking the B46 on Utica Avenue, if you're taking the 35 on Church Avenue, if you're taking the 25 on Fulton Street, you can see the bus very far up. And what I was saying in this clip is that you're watching, you're seeing, there's a mile up, there's no bus. You have two options. You can sit there and you can wait for the bus to come, or you can take your chances and go on to the next stop that's not very far away. This is not the country in Georgia, right, where the next bus might be miles away. This is New York City. So I'm talking to my New Yorkers who can appreciate this, all right? You look down, there's no bus. 9 times out of 10, you can make it to the next stop before that bus shows up. And what should you do? What I would advise that you do is you walk to the next stop and then you stop at that stop and then you look back and you see if you can see the bus. And if you don't see a bus, 9 times out of 10, you're going to take that chance and you're going to go to the next stop. And the joke is that sometimes you will make it to your final destination, in this case, home, before that bus even comes. And you would have looked at yourself like you were a fool to stand there and wait for the bus, and it never came. And so what I teach is you're going to date, you're going to get to know people. You are going to qualify them expeditiously and see if they're going in your direction. And if they're not going in your direction, you are going to walk to the next stop and you're going to continue to date and you're going to continue to socialize and continue to network and continue to meet people and see if they're going in your direction. And if they are not going in your direction, it is in your best interest to keep on moving. We're not boarding multiple buses and dipping our MetroCard. There's no MetroCard anymore, but you get the point, right? I'm not saying sleep with these people. I'm saying evaluate whether or not they're going in your direction. And if they're not going in your direction, you keep on moving. Because what will happen is that you will get in situationships, you will feel stuck, you'll have children with, you will entangle your life with someone who doesn't want what you want. You didn't ask the tough questions because you were afraid. And then now you're a victim because this person took advantage of you or wasted your time. Absolutely not. When I tell my story, I tell you guys, I wasted 4 years with someone who did not want what I want. I was not a slave. I was not chained to a pipe in his basement. I was an active participant. And I need you to be empowered to understand that you are an active participant. You have the capability to make a choice when someone is an inappropriate match for you as soon as you recognize they're an inappropriate match. Instead, we make excuses and we blame the other person as if we don't have the capacity to move on. You have it. Do it. Stop blaming other people for your poor choices. You deserve more. Now, I see a comment from, I assume, a gentleman who says, stop shouting, please. So let me instruct you. If you're watching this on a cellular device, there's something called a volume that you can simply click down, and that would lower the volume for you if it's problematic for you. If you're watching on a television, then you can get what's called a remote control, and you can click the down, and that will lower the volume for you. If you are watching on a laptop or a computer, there's normally a volume on the upper right-hand corner of your keyboard that will lower the volume for you. So if this is uncomfortable for you, the volume, however you want to hear what I have to say, you can use any device to lower the volume accordingly, or you can choose to watch someone else. I have a teacher's voice. I am from New York City. My lineage is Caribbean. We are forceful in the way that we speak, and we speak with a projection. And so again, if that's uncomfortable for you, any and every device has the option to turn the volume down, or you can choose someone else to listen to. I hope that that was helpful. Moving right along. So, as a dating and relationship coach, the first thing that I teach is vetting and discernment. Vetting and discernment. You need to be clear on exactly what you are looking for in a partner and in a partnership in order for you to be able to assess whether or not someone is a right fit for you. And if they're not a right fit, you walk to the next bus stop. And that's okay, right? So, how do you build vetting? How do you build discernment? How are you able to assess whether or not someone is an appropriate match for you? Well, this is the way that you're going to do it. Number one, get a pen and paper and you write down exactly what you require out of a partner. Now, a caveat to this is making sure that you either have what you're looking for in someone else or you can complement it. Because if we're being reasonable, why would someone who has this desirable trait, they are hardworking, they have a strong relationship with God, they're family oriented, they're emotionally sound, they're financially sound. These are all traits that people would find desirable for the most part. If they have those traits, they're more likely than not going to want those traits out of someone else, right? And so being reasonable, you're going to get a pen and paper and you're going to write down, what are my non-negotiables? What are the behaviors and traits that a potential partner must have in order for me to want to be with them, in order for me to continue to see them, in order for me to spend quality time with them, in order for me to want them, right? You're going to write those things down. Those are your non-negotiables. And just quick commercial break. I just put the link in the chat if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Facebook, for my full Partner You Deserve training. This training will be hosted on February the 12th at 7 p.m. It's $27. And that is where I'm going to go through the full system that I teach my clients on how to get into the best relationships of their lives in 12 months or less. If you have been struggling in your dating process, your picker is broken, which is what we're talking about today. Vetting and discernment. You don't know where to go. You lack motivation on where to go to meet the right guys. You don't know how to build a healthy relationship. You don't know what you need to do to level up so you're showing up as the best version of you. All of that is going to be taught on February the 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Partner You Deserve live training for $27. I've already put the link in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook. If you're watching this on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio, or you can comment or DM the word deserve. Comment or DM the word deserve. Oh, wait. And I will send you the link to register. We are only allowing 30 people in the building. 30. All right. And if you're watching this on Instagram, which I appreciate you, come over to YouTube. Come over to YouTube so that I can read your comments. I can read your questions so I can engage. Okay, good. So back to what we were saying. The first thing I teach my clients on how to get into the best relationships of their lives in 12 months or less. I'm going to be teaching the entire system on Thursday, the 12th. Click the link and register. but I'm going to teach this part today, right? You have to be clear on what you require out of a partner and a partnership. Those are called your non-negotiables. I tell my clients, I want you to limit your non-negotiables to about 6 or 7, because we want to make sure that whatever we're listing is reasonable and fair, right? If you start having a loose leaf back and front, 60 behaviors and traits, now you're creating someone who doesn't exist, and that's not fair, right? So with that being said, I want to make sure that we have a reasonable list, someone who exists out there in the world, and you're not self-sabotaging by creating an unreasonable list. You'll never find anybody, and now men are the problem. The dating scene is the problem. There's piss in the pool and all those things. No, it could be that you're being unreasonable. So we have about 6 or 7 core things. Anything else is a plus. For example, they can cook. That's a plus. Maybe that's not a given. Maybe that's not a must, but that would be a great plus, right? So we're reasonable. We have our list, 6 or 7 things, 6 or 7 things. We have our list. We make sure that we compare that list to ourselves. Do we have the things that we're looking for, or are they comparable, right? Like, is it reasonable? Does it compare? Okay, good. Now we have those things. I want you to think about, one of these days I need to get a whiteboard. Un momento. Let me put that on my list of things to get off of Amazon, a whiteboard, so I can really etch this out for you guys. It will be fully etched out on the training on Thursday, February the 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern. The link is in the comments on Facebook and on YouTube right now. If you comment or DM the word deserve, I will send you the link. It is $27. Order whiteboard. Yep. So we're going to have that for the training. Okay, good. So you take each one of those non-negotiables, the 6 or 7 that you've listed: hardworking, affectionate, family-oriented, provider, Christian, whatever your list is. It's your list. I'm not here to tell you that. If you're in coaching with me in my program, my 12-month mentorship, then I can start doing is this reasonable? I can't do that across the screen. All right. But you have your list. From there, I want you to think about when we were in English class and you would take a word and you'd put the word on your page, and then you put a circle around the word, and then you would have like those lines that came out of it look like a spider web. Okay, good. So you have your word, family oriented, circle, line, 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 right? And then here on the outside of your circle, you are going to generate the questions you should be asking. You are going to generate the behaviors you should be paying attention to, so that you can assess whether or not the person has that thing. I'll give you some examples. If I needed my guy to be family oriented, which I did, right? And I created my list of non-negotiables back in 2012 because I realized that my dating was not working. My process was not working. I didn't know about dating coaches back then. So I figured it out on my own. It took about 5 years and 2 heartbreaks. And y'all can keep wasting y'all time if y'all want to and piecemealing it. No shade, but nonetheless. So this is my process, right? So I'm like, all right, what are some of the behaviors that I need to have in a man in order for us to be successful? What are some of the traits I'm looking for in a man in order for us to be successful in a romantic relationship? I made my list. All right. Now, what questions should I be asking? What behaviors should I be paying attention to so that I can assess whether or not he has this thing? Okay, good. Family oriented. So I'm going to ask questions around how much time does he get to spend with his family? If he has a child, I mean, come on. Oh, how frequently do you get a chance to meet Michael or see Michael or take Michael out? Oh, he plays football. That's amazing. What team is he on? Can he name the team? All right. What position does he play? What's the going record? All right. Well, maybe one of these days when time allows, maybe I could catch a game one of these days, or maybe you could send me the highlights, right? If this person is not spending quality time with their own kid, the likelihood of them being family oriented with you and your kid, good luck, Chuck. Now we can say, oh, the mother did this. I don't know. I don't care. Right. Point is, does this person spend quality time with their existing family? Now, some may say that sometimes the family is toxic and he's the black sheep and everybody else is problematic. That could be. Does he have friends then? Does he spend quality time with his friends? Is he involved with the community? Like, what part of his life is close to looking like family oriented? And if you can't identify that per conversation, this is a T, right? This is something I teach my clients exclusively. You're welcome. Per conversation, meaning I take one non-negotiable and that's the only thing I'm talking about that's heavy that day. The rest of the conversation is going to be about the weather and how terrible it is across the country. It's going to be about the Knicks and how they have an amazing winning streak right now. It's going to talk about the Nets and how they just got their butt whooped by like 40 something points. It'll be lighthearted. It'll be easy, right? It'll be pop culture, the Grammys. But I should be tackling at least one hot topic, one non-negotiable per conversation, because I want to make sure that I'm not wasting time talking to someone who's out of alignment with me. I'm not wasting my time waiting at the bus stop for a bus that's never going to come. And I can look and pay attention and see the bus isn't coming. It's in my best interest to move on to the next stop. It's in my best interest. If it eventually catches up by the time before I get home, cool, I get on the bus, we keep going. If it doesn't, I already have my answer. Does that make sense? So again, in order for you to vet, to assess whether or not a gentleman is an appropriate match for you, you first need to be clear on what you're looking for. If I don't know what I'm looking for, how am I ever going to find it? If I am looking to bake a lasagna, I first need to know what the ingredients are in said lasagna. I need to know what the noodles look like, whether or not it's going to be meatless. If it's meatless, what type of meat am I buying? I need to know all the cheeses, the ricotta, the this, that, the other. I need to know the sauces. I need to get the right pan, right? I need to know how to combine the ingredients, what the layers look like. I need to know how to preheat my oven, which setting I'm putting it on. Is it broil? Is it not? I need to know all this information before I can put the lasagna together and bake a delicious lasagna. If you are not clear on exactly what you're looking for in the man that you desire, what are the behaviors and traits? If you don't have the ingredients, then how are you going to put together the relationship and have it be a good one? We need to be clear on what the parts are so we can put the parts together to create the life and the vision that we have. If we are not clear on those things before we get on anybody's dating app, before you go to any event that I recommend, right? And we're going to go through that on the training. So make sure you click the link that's in the comments right now on YouTube or on Facebook. If you're watching this in Instagram land, comment or DM the word deserve. I'll send you the link. It'll be live. We will be live on the 12th. So I can teach you very specifically the strategies, my proprietary system, and the strategies that I teach my clients to get them in relationships in under 12 months. Dare I say under 6. I like to under promise and over deliver. So I'm going to say 12. I'm going to say 12. All right. So again, if you are just coming in, we're going through vetting and discernment. We just talked about the vetting. How do I gather the information? First, I'm clear on what I'm looking for in a partner. Then I know what questions to ask, how to ask them, when to ask them. And now I have the information to assess whether or not he's an appropriate match for me, right? That's the vetting. We like to interchange the terms vetting and discernment. It's not the same thing. Now I have the information. What am I doing with the information? Now is the discernment piece. I have the info. What decisions am I making based on that information? Am I letting things slide because he's tall, dark, and handsome? So I'm going to let this thing that's missing go, which, here's the joke, it's going to bite you in the behind later on, right? Oh, well, his finances are a little shaky, but he ain't got no kids. He doesn't have any children, but I have no evidence that he's family oriented, right? Like we start giving up and giving in and negotiating, which is why I tell you guys to make sure that you're writing down the most important things. I limit them to 7 so that we're not creating an avatar of a man who doesn't exist, and making sure that you either have those things or you can complement them. That way we're not giving. You're going to be giving when you have 30, 50, 70, 90 things on your list. So now you do have to negotiate. Don't set yourself up for failure. All right. So we have the vetting. We have the information. Now is the decision making, the discernment. I'm going to decide whether or not what I have in front of me is an appropriate match for the life and the vision that I have. And then you continue to vet. And then you continue to discern. And you should be vetting. This is man, woman, whoever. You should be vetting this person until the day that they drop down on their knee or you drop down on yours. And then now it's decision time. All right. We're in this together. Does that make sense? Okay, folks. So at this point, I'm going to invite you again to my 1-hour training, The Partner You Deserve. It'll be held live on Thursday, February the 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you are watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, I've already put the link in the comments, and I'll make sure it's pinned at the end of this live stream. If you're watching this on Instagram, the link is already in my bio. And if you comment or DM the word deserve, it will send you the link automatically. It is $27. You will also get the replay within 2 hours. So even if you can't make it live that night, that's not an excuse. You will watch the replay. You will wake up early if you're on the other side of the world. You will stay up late. You need to do something different. We're in February right now. And if you said to yourself on the top of 2026 that life was going to look different for you, that you've invested in your career, you've invested in your education, you've invested in yourself, and it's time for you to do something different and show up differently in your love life so that you can create the love life that you desire, it starts with this. Get into the training and do something different. Okay. All right, folks, I'm going to skedaddle. I will be back on live tomorrow. I'm going to say like 4 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get the alerts, and make sure you hit the little bell for the notifications. If you're watching this on Instagram still, come over to YouTube. Click the link in my bio. You'll get access to YouTube. It's the same name, aligned with Allison, so it's no excuses. But most especially and most importantly, I want to see you on the live training, which is going to be on Thursday. The live training is going to be on Thursday the 12th, not this Thursday, next Thursday. All right, folks, I'll see you. Bye.